You have heard it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. You've heard this to be a good and righteous thing. And yet, I say unto you now, love your enemies. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for those who persecute you.
Vinland Saga follows the journey of Thorfinn Karlsefni, a boy who grows into a man by going down the wrong path and having a phoenix-like rebirth, showing us one of the greatest lessons ever taught in fiction. He travels across Northern Europe and the British Isles on a quest that he thinks will make him a warrior and complete his life goal. But the real journey of Thorfinn happens after this dream can no longer come to fruition. Just a heads up, this video will contain spoilers. Thorfinn's story begins with rage. Going against his father's will, he stows away on a warship containing men from his village, including his dad, whose name is Thors. They had no way of knowing, but this ship was sailing towards the worst moments of Thorfinn and his father's life. They run into ships helmed by a man named Askeladd and his forces. Thors showed true heroism, leaving his son in awe defeating foe after foe. However, his father ended up challenging Askeladd to a duel. This duel was for the free passage of his ship and his men. Thors won the duel, but Askeladd wasn't letting him get off that easy, for Askeladd was claiming a bounty placed on Thor's head. Thors understood, as he realized that there were archers on the ridge above them, and he chose to give up his life in exchange for everyone but himself to pass freely. Thors was murdered right in front of his son, Thorfinn. This broke Thorfinn at a fundamental level. That rage became a sole purpose in his being alive. Every action he takes is calculated to lead him toward this ultimate revenge that would undoubtedly make him feel better. His unwavering resolve is set onto defeating one man, Askeladd, the man that killed Thors, the Troll of Yam, a genuine and true warrior. At first glance, this could be a whole story in and of itself, but Thorfinn's character is not nearly that one-dimensional, and the show does a beautiful job at hiding this from you initially. Thorfinn's character advancing feels pretty predictable at first, that this pent-up rage will eventually come out, and that it's the final act of Thorfinn to take revenge on his father's assassin. But this couldn't be further from the truth. At the pinnacle of Thorfinn's strength, he was ready to challenge Askeladd to a duel, and finish him the way Thor should have. But that wasn't in the cards for Thorfinn. Walking into the Danish royal court ready to challenge Askeladd, Thorfinn's eyes locked with that of a dying Askeladd. He rushed over in a fit of rage. Thorfinn believed it was him who was destined to kill Askeladd. When Askeladd lay dead in his arms, everything clicked for Thorfinn, as it does for the audience too. His whole life was fueled by the hatred of one man who did him wrong, and now that single flame was snuffed out. What does Thorfinn do next? Was all his life meaningless now that he wasn't able to avenge his father? Was all this hate really worth it? What if I told you all the development up to this point was not the true story of Thorfinn? His hatred in Season 1 can be seen as the rage that we carry from day to day in our lives, whether we like to think about it or not. Our view on the world is inherently selfish. Thorfinn could not understand why Askeladd killed his father, for he only saw the end of his world. And Askeladd did not see it as such. Numerous times throughout the show, Askeladd calls Thorfinn foolish for his way of leading his life. Even his dying breath was to do just that to Thorfinn. Thorfinn failed to see that Askeladd did not hate him. In fact, between Thor's death and his own, Askeladd helped Thorfinn, allowing him to join the ranks of his men, while Thorfinn got stronger, preparing to kill Askeladd. Askeladd did not kill Thorfinn's father with the intention of ruining this young boy's life. He did it because he was improving his own life with riches, fame, and accolades. Not to defend Askeladd's actions as innocent, but I'm claiming that his intent was not of malice toward Thorfinn. Despite that, Thorfinn felt nothing but a gut-wrenching hatred toward Askeladd. As said by Marcus Aurelius in his book Meditations, they are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. This belief that people do not do evil for the sake of doing evil truly applies to Vinland Saga. Death in the world of the Vikings is not evil, it is natural, and even encouraged through battles. Thorfinn, just like I, failed to realize this until too late. His hatred toward Askeladd served no purpose but to bind his life to one that he had no control over. In Season 2, Thorfinn is enslaved, and he begins to embark on a journey to rediscover and reflect on his own life. He is now a broken man. He has no purpose in life anymore. He has no desire at all to fight anyone. and he had nothing to fight for that matter. His fellow slave Einar shows him another side to life, one of joy and prosperity, and one that paints war and death as pointless, reckless, and very destructive. Haunted by his past of bloody hands, Thorfinn now sees the way to truly avenge his father is not one coated in blood, but coated in peace and understanding. This leads to a powerful question. Does this idea transcend the anime? Does this apply to us too? And on top of that, I ask you another question. What purpose does hatred serve? What does it set out to accomplish? Does you hating fill the hole left by somebody else, or even prevent you from being hurt again? It doesn't. The hatred you feel is often one-sided, and the other party may not even be aware that they are disliked, yet you let it live rent-free in your head and heart. That person who cut you off on the road did not intend to make your day worse. They simply wanted to be quicker to their destination. And however selfish that may be, they did not do it for the sole purpose of making your day worse. This is the true lesson of Vinland Saga. People act according to their own best interest and according to how they think the world should be. Responding to a perhaps negative experience should not be met with equal malice. This again is a principle that the famed Roman Stoic and Emperor Marcus Aurelius would agree with. It is our responsibility as people to react to life's situations, and to not allow these situations dictate our actions. Once you understand this, then you'll realize for yourself, people do not act out of the pure malice of others. There is always a motive, even if that motive is validation, greed, or pleasure. After completing this anime, I asked myself some truly introspective questions. Why do I dislike people? And after reflecting on that question, I realized that it often came down to a single bad experience or a lack of understanding of who the other person was and what they were truly doing. My hate and discontent with people were me jumping to conclusions instead of getting to know a fellow human whose purpose on this earth is the exact same as mine, and that is to lead a happy life that fills their heart with content and joy. That is what we all strive for. Despite the variation in method or the end goal, we all want the best for ourselves. However selfish humans are, we are not born evil. To seek the true freedom Vinland Saga talks about, a land without war, peace beyond the reaches of evil, you must first console yourself and your own peace. You must rid yourself of prejudice and hate. For hatred is a cycle, for violence is a cycle, and to break those cycles is to first recognize, and second to rebuild. And no one taught us better than Thorfinn Karlsefni. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to truly say thank you. I've recently been enjoying reading some philosophy from people like Plato, Socrates, and obviously Marcus Aurelius. It brings me joy trying to understand how people work. And if you enjoy that too, I invite you to stick around, because these videos aren't going anywhere. I really do enjoy making them. Maybe I'll pick another anime character or another fiction character. If you have some suggestions, leave them down below. Yeah, I hope you have a truly wonderful day. Bye-bye.